The PS4 versus Xbox 720, it begins. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Review Space. And you got all these news articles regarding GameSpot. They're posting all these speculation, all these rumor things going on. But I do want to talk about some of the articles they've posted. Basically, this February 20th PlayStation meeting, in reference to the 45-second ad I talked about last night. Basically, it's going to be held in New York, and supposedly the PS4 is going to be announced, and even the Wall Street Journal has stated this as a matter of fact. And so we can expect the actual PS4 console. But the funny thing was, there's all these speculations going on regarding the actual features of the machine. They mentioned that instead of focusing on the hardware and the power of a system in terms of raw power, instead the PS4 is going to focus on the social aspects of the machine and the user experience. So it'll focus on that as opposed to the power of the console, instead of just pure graphics and, you know, the console, the engine, just like how the PS3 was, and it's touted as this really powerful system, even more powerful than the 360 and obviously the Wii of the current gen. Wall Street Journal also states that Sony will debut the PS4 before Microsoft does in the next generation console wars, if you want to call it that, although both machines will launch later in 2013. Do I think the PS4 will come out first? I don't think it matters. It shouldn't matter. There's a good anticipation for both systems. But they also mentioned here, GameSpot, the website, mentioned how looking into what the long-anticipated next-gen specs of the system of 720 and the PS3 will be in comparison to the PC. Let me tell you something. The PC, it has its own market, it has its own demographic, but this whole comparison between consoles and PC has got to stop. Alright? It's getting ridiculous. It's tired, it's old. I don't give a fuck about the goddamn PC. Okay, I'm not saying fuck the PC, blah blah blah, I'm not dismissing it. You know, and PC fans, whatever, do their thing, but I'm sick and tired of this constant fucking spec. Mine is better, yours is shittier, you know, like, which one is better? Consistent comparison between consoles and PC. This fucking dick measuring contest between the two. It's fucking pathetic. And it's usually like PC fucking idiots bragging about their graphics engine and the graphics card and how it's always superior to the console, and you know, consoles are always outdated and all that shit. Let me tell you something, I don't give a fuck. As a gamer, as a console gamer, I don't give a shit about the PC for the most part. You know, I don't care about it. I never play it. None of its games interest me. It's all about the consoles for me. You know, it's all about the video game systems. I don't care that much about the graphics. You know, that just tells me that PC fucking fanboys are a bunch of graphics whores. You know, always just talking about graphics and fucking the graphics card. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Take your graphics card and shove it up your ass, man. I don't fucking care. I mean, I'm content with the PS3 graphics. I'm content with the 360 graphics. It's not the best, and it's outdated, yeah, but so what? I mean, god damn it, man. It's going to be the same thing with the PS4 and 720. You know, these PC idiots are going to be consistently comparing it and just burying the fucking consoles. What's the big deal? You know, it's not a big deal to me. It's all about gameplay. It's all about how a game fucking plays. It's really redundant, but it's about the controls, the fucking experience. Not the goddamn fucking bullshit about the PC and the graphics and the fucking keyboard layout. Like, fuck all that. I don't care. Alright, let's move on. And then we have this article about a Microsoft insider talking about how, like, oh, it's not about... victory will go on to those who will not go to those who make the most noise, but those who make the most impact. And he also said, the war won't be won by producing the most powerful system, the person said. Yeah, well, no shit. And I support that idea. It's not about the most powerful system. No. And speculation states here that, you know, there could be that the 720 and the PS4 would have the same graphics card anyway, so it's comparable to begin with. I don't know who this Microsoft insider is. Could it just be a random asshole just trying to fucking drum up some controversy and trying to fucking set a division between the 720 fans and the fucking PS4 fans? But I agree with what he said, but at the same time, where are you basing this on? Who make the most noise? Yeah, if you want to make a fucking impact, if you want to get people's attention, yeah, you make a lot of noise. You make a big impact. You get a good advertising campaign. You know, you get there first. You do it early. You become a fucking... You make an exclamation point. To get people's attention, to get you noticed. You know, that's what a promo is. You know, that's how you get fucking notoriety. But then this guy said, oh, but to those who make the most impact. What are you implying there? What are you trying to say? What kind of implication is that? Are you saying that somehow Microsoft is going to make more impact than Sony? That somehow there's this vague idea, this vague false sense of misconception, this false fucking belief that Microsoft makes the most impact and it's all about Microsoft, and you know the 360 made the most impact. Maybe in North America, maybe with, you know, Western fans, you know, I understand it. But again, it's just you know, this is a stupid article. This Microsoft insider retard. Fuck you. You're an idiot. Because advertising does matter, you know, marketing does fucking matter. I mean, you make a lot of noise, you get noticed. Yeah, and it's about quality too, obviously. I mean, you want to fucking talk about quality, you want to talk about making the most impact. How about the Red Ring of Death making the most fucking negative impact? Give me a fucking break. Red Ring of Death is fucking bullshit compared to the PS3. I mean, not nearly as broken as the PS3, so you want to talk about impact. Anyway, to more interesting stuff, PS4 rumor floodgates are spilling over. Some sort of Edge report stating that PS4 controller is rumored to have a share button which allow gamers to publish screenshots and videos across the internet. It sounds like some kind of like YouTube shit, you know, some sort of webcam shit that isn't really new, you know. According to sources, the PS4 hardware will constantly record the most recent 15 minutes of gameplay at no processing cost, which gamers can then edit and share. That's interesting, you know, and there is sort of a gimmicky side to it. I understand that. It's almost like Sony's answer to Microsoft's technology that they're trying to patent, you know, that kind of thing that records whatever you're doing. Let's see. The new controller of the PS4 will be a redesign, will feature a rear touchpad. I've talked about this before. Concerning launch timing, the PS4 will release in Japan and the US before the holiday season, according to the sources. A European launch will follow in early 2014, saying distribution complexities as a reason for the delay. Well, that's not a big deal because the European market usually, you know, PAL territories get the release later when it comes to systems. It's like usually it's Japan first, and then North America, US, and then European countries, and then the rest of the world. A new version and the PlayStation Eye peripheral will also be released with the PS4, the sources said. It'll be compatible with existing PS Move controllers. Oh, you know what? There's another fucking thing. I don't know if they've ever mentioned this before, but I swear to God, I hope. It better be that the PS3 peripherals and the games in particular better be backwards compatible with a fucking PS4. So, if you buy a PS4, you should be able to fucking play PS3 games. And you know what? While we're at it, how about fucking PS2 games? PS2 games, why not? PS3 can still run, you know, original PS1 games, so I don't see why you can't run a fucking DVD fucking disc. Oh my god. I don't want to get into a rant and a diatribe against the fucking PS4's lack of backward compatibility with a PS2, but Jesus, man. It still pisses me off. And so, you know, the PS4, that's the only thing that I'm really concerned, is that it better be able to run fucking Blu-ray PS3 discs. Older games should be able to run on a disc-based system. Well, that's what I'm assuming the PS4 is going to be, you know, be running Blu-ray games. I mean, come on. As for the PS4 technical capabilities, the sources said, the console will be much more developer-friendly than the PS3, due in part to the system being more PC-like. That sounds like an improvement. I get it. I mean, the PS3 does have its problems, but I mean, my god, man. You just kind of wonder, like, what the hell is going on with developers? They can't program for the PS3. You know, and I understand it's got different fucking cells and all that shit, and, you know, I mean, it's the internal components of a PS3 is different, but if developers can do it fine, I mean, most developers do it fine, okay? Like, Dead Space runs fine, okay? Borderlands is alright, you know? I mean, come on. Call of Duties? Anybody on the PS3? They work pretty fine to me. The console will boast 4 gigs of RAM, possibly 8 gigs in a final configuration, noting that it'll be capable of moving data at 176 gigs per second. One source reportedly familiar with both 720 and PS4 told Edge that Sony's console will be slightly more powerful and very simple to work with, though the differences between the two will be as negligible as the Xbox 360 and PS3. Well, that's... We'll have to wait and definitely figure out for ourselves the differences between the two. Slightly more powerful, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Sony's always been delivering amazing systems in terms of the PS3, you know, PS Vita, you know, being powerful systems. That wasn't always the case too. I mean, you know, the PS2 was a lot weaker and significantly less, more powerful than, or significantly less powerful than the Xbox, the original Xbox, which had better graphics, you know, obviously had the internal memory. It was a lot more like a computer back in the day, so in terms of power, in terms of hardware, the Xbox was superior to the PS2. But because the PS2 had a great library of games, it was able to thrive and survive and outlast the competition. I do like one thing, and I'll say this about the console wars between the PS3 and the 360. It's kind of neck and neck. It's a lot closer this generation than last generation, where the PS2 was basically so dominant and outsold in every way, shape, or form the Xbox and the GameCube. So give credit where credit is due. I think now it is a better, more even playing field. Whether that's because the games are just so similar and the ports have become so almost interchangeable between the two, with the exception of a few superior Xbox 360 titles. And of course, in my opinion, the PS3 has superior exclusives. It's sort of an even playing field. The controls, the rumble, the online, you know, there are very similar key elements of both systems where, you know, playing the Xbox 360, playing the PS3, you can pretty much have a very similar experience for the most part, you know. Again, there are exceptions. I'd say like fighting games like Tekken 6, for example, are much better played on the PlayStation PS3 system compared to the Xbox 360. And perhaps maybe shooters are slightly better for the Xbox 360. just because of the control, just a little bit. And we can debate all day about online. PlayStation 3 had free internet access, but the Xbox 360 with its community, it's a lot closer. The competition, it's a lot more comparable. It's selling the amount of units. The PS3 sales is comparable to the 360 sales. They're kind of neck and neck. And that's what I hope it becomes in the next generation console wars as well. It's a lot closer. The 720, the PS4, it's more even, so that I'd rather have a divided fan base. I'd rather have two factions that are very comparable instead of just one dominant one, because there's a lot of negativity with that. I think that because the PS2 was an inferior system in terms of graphics and shit like that, but it had a bigger fucking fan base. So what happened with the Xbox? The Xbox got fucking buried, basically. Microsoft had to fucking rush out the Xbox 360, and in my opinion, what was a really potentially amazing system with the original Xbox and even the GameCube, it got buried. The PS2 just outsold them for whatever reason, because of the library, because it's got a more established name, because of the PlayStation's original fucking reputation. Yeah, thank God it's a lot more even now. I like it. I like the fact that it's a lot more even. I like that because that gives you... It shows the quality of both sides. You're not ignoring one side, because you gotta understand that a lot of people ignored the GameCube. And a lot of people just didn't give a shit about the Xbox until it was too late. Like, I remember in the early 2000s, more people had the PS2. It was all about the PS2, and then later the few years later, they started buying the Xbox, but by then it was too late. The Xbox was already like way behind in terms of sales, and you don't want a company to fucking start dying out. You know what I mean? You don't want a company to fucking lose, because the last thing I want is a single fucking gaming company to dominate the whole thing, to fucking just be the only end-all be-all of fucking gaming. I don't want a single company, whether it's Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo, to monopolize the fucking business. That's gotta be so shitty if we only get one system at the end. That's fucking retarded.